and welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Sometimes I just hit record because I don't want to forget to hit record.
Yep, yeah.
And we're not quite ready, so I just press the button so I don't forget.
Fucking go.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened just now. That's why it's red and flashing. Red and flashing is good.
Does it flash? It doesn't flash, does it?
This does.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Shit. You know what? I can't see that because this boom arm is
right on it.
But now I can't unsee that it's there, and
it's mesmerizing.
It's a little.
You know what's kind of cool is on our KiPRO Goes, it's got 4 USBs on the front. Mm-hmm. And so you stick sticks in there, and if the stick has lights on the end, that thing's just, it looks like a raid just going nuts.
I/O hits it.
Oh, yeah. And then we've got our own lights that are like status flashy lights on the case. So those are flashing, those lights are going, and that it just becomes like a,
Guys, I hope you don't have like epilepsy.
Maybe I do now.
You ever like manscaping, you know, like look down and it looks like Chewbacca threw somebody through like a chipper? Anyway, Sad Dads Club Podcast, episode 301. I'm the Lord Fu.
And I'm Jim.
So, hey, what's up?
I don't know where that came from. Chewbacca threw what at the what?
Through a chipper.
You threw Chewbacca through a chipper.
Yeah. That's,
oh, God.
I mean, you know.
Or like a very woolly sheep.
Yeah.
A brown one?
No, it's just because the fucking sheep is like a matted fur, but Chewbacca is like a...
Right, sure. I gotcha. It makes...
I mean, I would imagine.
If you're posing that question,
like if
you're asking for an answer, no.
No, yeah, me neither. That's weird.
I will say this.
Where do you come up with this shit, Jim?
As I get older, we have talked about this, right? I have less and less hair on my body, except on my head.
Oh.
So, like, my legs, they're just shiny now. There is literally almost no hair on my legs.
Xander has, I think, Venus's side of hair genetics.
Which is fuzzy or not fuzzy?
Like more follicles, so more fuzzy.
Does Venus not want us to know this?
It's her, like the males. Like her dad is a very
furry,
very hairy chested guy.
All
like
right.
I don't think he's like the back hair kind of. Although I can't say I've paid attention, but he has a lot of chest hair.
Yeah,
and he can grow a really thick, nice beard.
Yeah,
Xander's legs are more hairy than my legs
ever were.
And I have noticed it's like this year specifically for me, it feels like my mustache specifically has like sped up in how fast it like grows. Like there is a length of my mustache that once it gets to that specific length, and sometimes I can notice it between a Wednesday and a Thursday, it gets that split of a millimeter too long, and it's annoying. It's annoying. It'll like, I'll move my lip somewhere and it'll brush a nostril, and I went, nope, it's too long.
Yeah,
like I can't deal with the tickle. Like I
get that on my lip, on the top. of my lip. Like all of a sudden I'm feeling hair.
Like what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, that doesn't feel right.
No, I do not like this. Yeah. And then, because then I'll just like, I'll try and noodle at it. Like, yeah.
You got to use your lip teeth.
Yeah. Like a fucking little mustache badger or something.
Yeah.
It's just, and so then, like, I'll stop everything, go to the bathroom, grab out the clippers, and just like, tidy. 3.
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel like I'm doing that cycle
more often,
way sooner than I was even last year.
I am older than you, but not by a whole lot, but by some. But I will say,
which is tit hair.
Yeah, I will say that I have also noticed that my face hair grows quicker.
Does it?
I don't have any hair on my legs, my ass, or my back. But my face hair,
And you have a nice head of hair.
yeah,
Is it coming back on you in any way? Do you notice?
maybe just a little,
bit.
maybe a
I
tiny
don't
bit.
know. I don't pay attention. You have so much hair.
My grandfather had hair. I mean, he thinned as he got older, but he had quite a bit of hair.
Did he?
Yeah.
My dad has my grandpa's head. Like, he'll go silver. Like, it came back a little bit, but not by much. It'll thin, but my dad is looking like he'll end up like my grandpa. So a reasonable head of hair that will go completely silver.
Yeah.
I got oh, so close. Wait. No, you're it's just apprehensive.
Just ignore me, man.
Listen, bitch. What the fuck? There's too much.
Don't do as I do. Do as I.
My uncle
don't.
has the same like hairline early, but he just let it go. So he's got like a huge way. It just falling way back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck. I just shave it. It's fine.
Now Shanna's brother, on the other hand, we always joke that he's a fucking bear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, if it's a joke that if he ever gets loose out of the house without a shirt on, that they'll send the helicopter up to tranquilize him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's animal control.
Right.
And the little harness lasso thing.
Mm-hmm. And he'll climb a tree and they'll fucking he'll fall out, It's a whole thing.
Just throw some honey pots down on and he'll come tumbling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got, he
cute little bear.
He's quite thinning on the top.
Yeah.
But man, that dude could grow, if he wanted to, he could grow a gnarly beard, and he's got hair everywhere else.
Really?
Yeah. So
I'm jealous of that. I do wish. What did I see? Oh, it was a picture from, it would be 2 weeks back now, at Ethan's party at the lake. My sister took a picture of like me amongst my brother and Ethan.
yeah.
And you're looking at my beard is not very thick.
Mine's not.
And I'm like, that's depressing to me. Like, that doesn't look. But Venus likes facial hair. She like absolutely will not let me
shave
it down past what I've got. I think it's like 7mm blades.
I do not like shaving my face.
Really?
No, it's just like a thing that just drives me crazy. I don't like the way it feels after I've shaved my face. I don't like the way my skin feels and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have adopted a thing where I have Chandler actually got them for me for Christmas. Some adjustable clippers, like probably what you have.
Yeah.
And I think I go on number 3 or maybe 3.5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when it starts getting shaggy on my face, I trim it down, and then it almost looks like I shaved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you take it down to a stubble.
Yeah.
But not.
I don't
not
like the
baby's ass.
Yeah. And my wife hates facial hair. So she doesn't necessarily care that for it that I don't shave.
Right.
But I just don't. Even when I did shave,
Mm-hmm.
I would put it off for as long as possible. But now it'll get, like we were talking earlier,
Yeah.
it'll get long enough where it's like starting to tickle my lips or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that drives me crazy. So then it's like, I just cut it down and I'm fine. I as long as it's not to the skin,
Yeah.
then I'm fine with it.
I remember shows back, we were talking about like something that you've watched that like absolutely grates you.
Yeah.
The men with beards where that mustache hair comes down over the lip.
Uh-huh.
Like, listen, if I eat a bowl of ramen,
Uh-huh.
when I had a reasonable longer beard than I have now,
Yeah.
and a much longer mustache, that shit gets.
Oh yeah.
And even if I'm trying to be meticulous about, I don't want to be in the beard.
Yeah.
Like, to have hair curling over into my maw as I'm like,
Or tickling your food as it goes into your hole.
yeah, listen, I'm not a fucking whale. I don't need the baleen filter going through my ramen or, a soda
Right.
or a beer or cider or whatever. Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like, How are you fucking eating? And there's some guy that does like those the food challenges.
I was just gonna the big bearded guy.
I think his thing is like
He's English, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Like
how we watch so much of the same stuff.
He's just straight up like fucking.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I got in my beard.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Why are you?
Oh yeah. And there's times where it's everywhere, and he's got a lot of hair on his face.
Can I get a paper towel? Fucking man, and just like a. And
oh yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh, I know, and it's long. He's like Billy Goat.
Yeah,
kind of long.
It's a down to solar plexus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? Come on, dude.
But that dude can mouse some food. That dude pummels it every time.
Yeah.
Pummels it. That's amazing. And he's like, he doesn't eat for like 48 hours beforehand.
Is that how he does it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the stomach is it'll do that. Like
he might have another stomach.
He could. I mean, if you understand, like the elasticity of the stomach.
Yeah.
And like it's like texture, like it'll stretch.
Yeah.
So if you like a balloon, if you blow it way up, it'll never quite necessarily like spring all the way back. So if he's always stuffing shit into there, like it'll just keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
And then, he takes a break and he's just got an empty, huge goddamn food bag inside his. And then everything moves. Everything, his like internal organs are probably all adjusted. Like shit. I sleep funny on a pillow and I get wrinkles in my skin, and this guy's like doing the same shit, but like his stomach is pushing out intestines and whatnot.
Yeah, that's weird to think about.
You need more room.
Yeah.
Well, we made it.
He went to Texas, some restaurant that has like the 75-ounce steak fucking challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
With like salad and baked potato and bread, like the whole thing, plus this 75 ounce or maybe even 86-ounce steak or whatever the fuck it is. Crushed it. Just like, I mean, and he's a skinny dude.
It's like that genre.
Yeah.
Is like I don't understand, but also can't stop watching.
Right.
Like NASCAR, I have an appreciation for racing.
Yeah.
I have an appreciation for the mechanics and the engineering that goes into like min-maxing those cars to do what they do. But
within the guidelines,
right.
Within the rules.
But if those things are of interest to you, you can see pretty much everything you need to see within 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah.
What you're staying to watch the rest of the race for
Rex.
is someone to eat shit and make a human to make a human mistake.
Yeah.
Too wide. Didn't press on that gas pedal close enough.
Yeah.
And you're in the fucking wall.
Yeah.
These people that eat a grotesque amount of food for, in most cases, money, or in the guy's like a free T-shirt.
Yeah.
And the meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's making content, sure. But when you watch like the Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge and you see like Joey Chestnut, and they're just, you dunk the fucking bun, squeeze it, chuck it.
Yeah.
Hot dog, fold in half, gobble, 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 gobble. It's, I don't know the length of that contest, but it's over in
what are they?
15 minutes or less, I want to say.
What was the record is like 68 or something hot dogs?
Like, what do you, for, like, this is your superpower?
To get the belt, man.
Right. And you see that
Joey Chestnut couldn't go this year, though.
Right. He signed that vegan hot dog.
Impossible.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He signed with Impossible, and they were like, nope.
Yeah. Okay. Good for him. I mean, chase the bag. How many, like, what is the density? I would be curious about that one. Be like, okay, you line me up 100 hot dogs, and you face the who's the Asian fella that usually wins if Joey Chestnut doesn't? Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
You know, we're talking about this like we just live it or something.
Right. Well, you've seen it enough times. Like the guy. I mean, it's like fuck. The young lady who's Michael Phelps in swimming.
Right.
Michael Jordan in basketball.
Every 4th of July, you hear a bunch about it.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see if he could match or not match, like in less or overeat in the same numeric value of Impossible hot dogs. Actually, I don't think I've seen an Impossible hot dog. Have you? I've seen sausage. I don't think I've seen a hot dog.
I want to say the girls just recently had them, and they thought they were amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was beyond them.
Do you think they're
Impossible.
more? Have you had one?
I haven't. Usually, I'll get a brat or something.
I wonder if it's as dense or less dense than a normal
they seem
hot dog.
like they at least the Impossible ones. They cooked up and smelled like a regular hot dog, and I think that's part of what the girls thought was awesome about them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Good for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot dogs, did you get your griddle?
I did.
How's that working? Why did you go? Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Is there a sad story here?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
You got your griddle.
Yeah. And we've talked about it, I think.
Yeah. You cooked breakfast.
I made me, it took me like 8 minutes to make a smash burger for lunch today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And?
Oh, it's amazing.
Fucking, yeah, it's amazing.
I love that thing. It's huge on my patio.
Yeah.
Because that's a big guy.
Yeah.
Probably could have just gotten the 2-burner.
Probably. But was that as on sale?
I think it was $249 or $259, something like that. I would have spent a little less money, but not by much, by $50.
Wow.
But I'm
Did it
super
still
happy
have
with
the
it.
digital?
Yeah, it has those. Yeah,
just two burner.
Just 2-burner, and I think they have a 1-burner too. But, yeah, they're coming out. I think with the 2nd gen. I think they know, based on my usage of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are aware of shortcomings or changes that they need to make. So they are coming out with the 2nd gen version of it. I'm happy to get mine for what I paid for it, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. No complaints.
I did notice on Blackstone's what was it we looking? We were punching around on accessories.
Yeah.
And I ended up on Blackstone's site, and they've got like the next iteration of theirs.
Yeah.
A common thing on mine is to buy these magnetic vents. They're small, like 12 inches or less of a metal with like some heat-treated rare earth magnets that you just stick to the underside of the griddle on the edges so that a wind draft doesn't come in. The next generation of griddles has like a flange that comes down that
sort of protects.
And they call it some fucking insulator technology something, but they're just flanges.
So they're Appleizing. The deflector.
They certainly, and I think there's a lot more. I mean, my griddle has holes that my first one didn't. I think they're adding more options for a hard lid that attaches, that folds up.
Mm-hmm.
Venus bought me one of those as an aftermarket for mine.
Yeah.
Because we wanted where I put mine, I needed like a shield so that way I didn't get splatter onto the house. So mine not only doubles as a hood when I close it, but when I lift it up where it's at, it doesn't grease splatter onto a window or anything.
Yeah.
It looked like Blackstone moved to like more things are coming with a lid.
And they're going to charge way more for all that stuff.
Oh, fucking
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Instead of $350, it'll be $550.
I didn't see any of their new ones. Their knobs looked newer, but I did not see any temperature readout on their knobs.
The Loco, I think, I think that's a patented thing for them.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
temp sense or whatever they call it.
I did see it. Like, you can tell it pushes up against the griddle and like one of their breakaway things that I saw in a picture.
Yeah.
So I get it. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's handy. Like to know for certain.
It's really cool because you set the temperature, click on the thing, and the burner will light, and then it will start displaying what the temperature is it's reading on the bottom of the griddle.
Yeah.
And it does that on all three of the burners. And so you set a temp of, say, 400, 350, whatever. You'll watch it climb up and hit the 400 mark, and then you'll see it sort of dip and come back. And then you'll hear the burner. Well, you don't actually hear the burner turn off, but the burners will actually turn off, and then you'll hear it click because it's reigniting to maintain the temperature that you're setting. See. Which is actually really cool.
So it turns on and off the burner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just reading. It's using it as a way to toggle the burner.
To maintain the temperature. Yeah.
So it's like a temperature set as well as reader.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, now, the only time you don't have a temp is when you turn it all the way up to the last setting, which is sear. And that's just like fucking hot as shit.
Right.
Now, I don't know what temperature that's trying to hold, because you do hear when it's on sear them clicking off and on. It just says sear, so it doesn't tell you what the temperature is. It could be 700 degrees for all. I have no idea.
Get the cat gun out.
Yeah, I gotta some point, but you're supposed to season it when it's on sear.
Oh, okay.
So
hot as Jesus.
Yes, put
balls.
The surface of the sun
on
now.
Yeah, do that.
I mean, I could have just seasoned it, parked it out in the backyard, and throw some oil on it and walked away over this last week for how hot it's been.
Yeah, you could have.
We had, in the backyard, we had 115.5.
It's hot.
115.5.
That's hot.
That's very hot. I mean, what was it? Death Valley was 129 or something, or didn't they just say that over the weekend or something? I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah,
that's not that far away.
No,
from Death Valley's
just
temperature.
Before we started, I saw someone. I might have like looked over the shoulder of Venus and seen it, or it might have been. I can't remember whose phone it was. Someone in Vegas took like a rainbow set of crayons on a white canvas and then set it outside, and then as the temperatures crept up, it melted the wax crayons into a rainbow, and then they're fucking selling it as art. I'm like, shit!
Why didn't I think of that?
God damn it, you could have done that here.
Yeah, well, totally. Yeah, the whole cooking an egg outside thing, yes. I mean, you literally could. Hot.
Yes.
So it's been nice. It's been hot. Don't get me wrong. We've been in the 100 degrees the last couple of days, but for 2 mornings in a row, up through 10 or later, it was cooler. It was below 80, which was very strange.
Yeah, Monday morning and Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
there was not only a breeze, but it was. Oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, and then it just fucking quick ramps up in the afternoon.
It gets to shit. Last night we went on our walks somewhere about 10:30, 11, I want to say, and we're like, oh, it's we could open up the house. We give the AC a break for an evening, and we ran the whole house fan until 6 or so.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it last night on our walk, I was like, yeah, because Monday, today's Wednesday. Yesterday was a ridiculously early day for me. And so I was up at like 5:30 or so. And you could probably hear it in here, but there's a garage, just like a small, not whole house fan, but like a ventilation fan that's tied to a thermostat. I think it's like 100-something degrees. Anyway, so I'm up, I'm working a thing, and somewhere about 6:30, the fan shut off, and I had a giggle. I'm like, like that. We went all the way. We went all the way around the horn, and it got till 6:30 in the morning, and it finally shut off.
Right.
And then somewhere about 10:45,
about 6:45,
the fan went.
Yeah.
And I went, well, shit.
Right.
That's unfortunate on a number of perspectives.
Yeah, I mean it's so hot that like you stay inside. Like we were just talking about pool temps.
Oh yes,
yesterday.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't.
I have that on my list.
I was surprised because I had really only seen our pool hit about 81 degrees, and it typically maintains that temperature. It's been so hot though that at night it doesn't cool down enough, so the pool doesn't cool down like it normally does.
Yeah.
And that temperature of the temperature hold of the pool never releases the heat because it's not cool enough in the evening. And when your lows are like 78, your pool doesn't cool off at night.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it. I'm like, it's usually like 81 or maybe 82 tops, right? And then I went outside and I checked. It was 86 in my pool, and that is warm. And it was warm.
Yes.
It
was, in fact, warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ordered one of the fountains.
Did you?
Yes.
And so here, I can't remember how I said I got there. It was, because after the last show, obviously, I'm looking at, I've got the kid, Xander, the kids. I've been talking like
that one kid
at length about misters and the thermodynamics, heat exchange water. Man, it was so hot over the weekend. I just took one string of, I think it was the string of misters that I had along some solar lamps from your birthday party that I had out there. I'm like, these aren't in use. I don't have a solution yet for around the condenser. I need to put something in place as a stopgap just to see. And if it moves the needle any, I'm doing it because these aren't even in use.
Right.
So I've got that rigged up, and, I'm trying to, what actually am I going to be getting here? And I'm working on physics at length with Piper. She's got physics this summer. So, like, all of the math and this moment in time where I'm paying attention to misters and what's happening, and I'm trying to make it a thing to, like, not have to pay out the money in running my AC into the dirt or running my wallet into the dirt because we're having to pay for this stuff. And I clicked something somewhere, and Amazon, of all things, in looking up misters, fed me one of those pool fountain cooling things. And I went, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And it looks like PVC. So then I went to YouTube and I went, passive air pool chiller?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, there are these very simple things that you put into a water return jet that instead of pumping the water straight into creating a current or a return from the pump, it pumps it through a small fountain-like thing with a series of holes, and it just moves the water through the air and
shoot it up.
And as it goes through the air and then back into the pool, it's losing heat.
Yeah.
Which then now you're going to lose some water in the whole transition, right? Nothing's free.
Well, you'll get evaporation.
Sure, but you're going to gain a net loss in heat transfer to the atmosphere and cool the pool water.
Yeah.
And so in whatever we were talking about, I send it to you and your son. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen or looked up the fucking pool? Your boy's like, my pool is hot as a goddamn soup. Shit, fucking, it's uncomfortable. I'm like, fucking seriously, look at these. And what I have written down was the conversation about ice.
Oh yeah,
that we went off
the deep end.
Right. He said. So he's like, or you said, put an ice block or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I asked ChatGPT, like, how much ice. And I didn't fully read it.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, shit, okay, yeah. So there's ice. And I am balls deep in physics right now.
Right.
So I said, well, there's a formula to calculate the amount of heat loss transition that it will take along with fluid displacement of a body of something, fluid, and ice, given the temperature and the temperature of ice. Like, you could find that. So I turn away from the iMac and not reading, like, his stuff. Like, he'd actually, the ChatGPT had given him the volume and amount of ice.
Right.
I am physics formula for thermodynamics of water transfer. Okay, so if his pool, and then I turn back to the iMac, I'm like, how many gallons is your pool? I had a I'm like, okay, so here. Okay, so for Jim, it would take you 20. And then I looked up Walmart prices of bag of ice.
Yeah,
16 to 22 pounds of bag of ice, so $3.79. I'm like, okay, so then it's 2,200 pounds. Fucking 20. Let's say best case scenario is a 22-pound bag of ice at 3 times 379. We'll just say it's $4. We'll say it's $4. It's like $210 in ice to drop your pool 5 degrees. And then I look back, and so I'm typing this out, and I'm like, so the data's pool is, and I see ChatGPT, his thing where of ChatGPT is like all the same formulas. And I went, holy fuck.
We're there.
We're fucking there.
Yeah. What was remember the math
Your
app?
boy was at my par in physics only because
he typed into a field.
He asked the fucking AI.
Right. Well, I remember too, there was a app on your phone that you could like turn on the camera mode and shoot the equation, and it would tell you.
Oh yeah, I think.
I don't remember
I don't
what
know
it's
if
called.
I've tried that.
I played with it at one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have a series of really good like physics stuff, and I mean, there's no shortage of like YouTubes. Like if most teachers are repeating the same problems with different values.
Yeah.
So you can find. But I'll admit,
plenty of samples.
I hadn't thought about asking ChatGPT.
Chandler loves playing with that.
If I'm gonna give that a toss the next time we're like working through a thing, just to be like, okay, so if I just read it, like, will it work through a problem that's worded like that? I'm curious because. Because
isn't the way ChatGPT, the way that you feed it your equation, sort of the same thing as new math?
I have no idea. I have not done math, so I don't know how it treats it.
But like your kids had to do new math.
Yes.
The new math, right?
Yes.
Like we had our math was our just regular fucking mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I think when Millie was in junior high, they transitioned into the new math, and new math is not taught the same way as the old math.
Yeah.
And it's a very different way of approaching math. And I think ChatGPT, the way you feed the question into it, is sort of also the same approach as new math. That's my sort of take on that.
Huh. I don't know. I would know once. Once I give it something, I'll be curious.
I'm not saying that it maybe it does. I haven't really looked at it that close or really know much about how new math works other than it's a lot of word problem stuff. But essentially you're feeding ChatGPT a word problem. How much blah can a cool temperature of this many gallons of water
right.
at this many degrees, and then how many pounds of ice would that take?
You would think that's an easy problem for AI. It's like, this is math.
It kind of was.
Right. As opposed to, write me a story involving a flea that has the world's largest dong trying to audition for a part in a Joel Schumacher movie called Batman and the Dongless.
What?
I'm going to try that. when we get done, I'm going to see what happens. Batman and the Dongless. Oh my God, I'm terrible.
Well, I ordered the fountain just for the science of it all. I just wanted to see.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would be curious.
It was like $32 or something, and I'm like,
as long as it fits in the, like,
it's
why would
supposed
you
to
not
fit
try
my
it?
pool. Yeah, like, let's give it a whirl, you know?
Like
if it doesn't, I just fucking return
I'm trying to think of the drawback. If it creates a back pressure, you could lose durability in your pump. Would be the worst case scenario to me. But if it is
I'm not worried about that.
If it is right, but I'm talking like for science, right?
Oh yeah.
If it was too constricted, your pump would be working harder.
Okay.
But if it was a like for like, right, you're replacing a 1-inch diameter return orifice with 10 holes that are 1/8 of, like, if it's a like for like orifice, then there's no net.
The way that it works is it's like a gooseneck coming out of the return, and around the gooseneck there is a relief.
Oh, okay.
So like a side hole that you adjust how much. And that
there's it. There you go.
And that adjusts the pressure on the how much flow you get out of the fountain.
Okay.
And then if you're shooting water out of the pool, I mean, you can shoot it straight up and hopefully it lands in the pool.
Right.
But this way you can adjust how much water is making it out of the fountain to land back in the pool with some control.
Okay.
So and if you're that would allow you to discharge some water out to the side.
Right.
Now, that being said, in my pool, my sweep is run by the return water.
Oh.
So it's pushing water all the way through the side of the pool, through a hose, to a sweep, turning a wheel, and pushing a sweep around, plus creating vacuum where the sweep will pick up dirt.
Right.
And if that thing gets clogged, then it's far less efficient, and the pump has to work harder.
Yep.
So that doesn't always get cleaned out. Like I don't clean it out weekly. It's like I better check that.
Okay.
So from a efficiency standpoint, I'm probably not that super efficient. Plus, it's Intex hardware. It's not super nice fucking pool pump things that are for a good pool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not a premium.
No.
It is an affordable middle class man's product.
It's a lower end. It's a lower end setup for sure. It's a sound pump. It does the thing that a real nice bigger pump would do. It's just Intex crap. So.
But it does a thing.
It does the thing.
Well,
yeah.
Fucking send it.
Yeah. It cleans the water.
Is from Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was
you're going to have it probably end of the week or something, or sooner?
I think it was next week.
Wow.
Surprisingly. And it's shipped by Amazon, so I was kind of surprised that it was going to take a while. Maybe they were low on
pool fountain chiller.
I assume this time of the year, in a fucking heat wave all over the West Coast, you know.
Well, I know Venus is like hot on like, let's just go get a big stock tank. Like I can imagine there's pools
stock tank?
Yeah. Stock tank pools. Like get yourself a big ass fucking
What's a stock tank?
A water tank that you would feed your stock.
Oh, okay.
So horse water tank.
Okay.
Cow water tank.
All right.
I don't think they get higher than like 2.5 to 3 feet. It is just something for you to.
I mean, you could.
But in Texas, it's a thing. Like, you get, like, oh, I can't afford me a pool, but the fucking cow's got a pool, and it is an adult galvanized kiddie pool.
Okay. How much is one of those?
Well, as is the American way. Like, I think you get a stock tank of the size that they're, like, starting from for, like, $500 or under.
I mean, our pool was less than $500 with the pump and everything.
Right. You know, that makes sense. So, yeah.
I'm just saying, you could get a 4-foot deep pool that's 18 feet around.
I don't have a place to put 18 feet. That is actually
this guy right here, the biggest backyard ever.
Otherwise, I'd be putting it under a tree. Like I can.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I absolutely do not want.
Trust me, I know.
I will be right. I and you.
Oh God,
will be the only person in our families
that touches it.
That cleans the pool.
Yes, I'm that
Dad,
person.
I want to get in the pool, but there's so many leaves in there.
Yeah, I spend so much...
There's a dead bug in the pool!
I spend so much time cleaning the pool, and I feel like a lot of that time... If it was a built-in pool, we'd probably use it all the time. But because it's an above-ground pool, it doesn't seem like it gets used as much.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. But I spend... It doesn't matter if it's above ground or not. I spend a lot of time cleaning the pool, keeping the equipment going, repairing stuff that gets broken. I've had hoses that have cracked. I've had pumps that have died. I've had saltwater systems that have failed. And then every winter it goes swamp. And then I spend several weeks getting it cleaned up, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
Plus, it sits under trees that just constantly dump on it. Like right now, they're dumping on it right now just because of the heat. All the leaves are dying and curling up and falling in my pool.
Venus went to her friend's house on Saturday or Sunday. Might have been Sunday. Just to chat with the girls while sitting in the pool because it's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And she came back. She's like, "We need a pool." And I went, "What the fuck are we gonna?"
Yeah.
I think I've like an Intex size, 10 by something, 10 by 7 or something that would fit
like
on the deck,
oval size.
It was rectangle. What was
rectangle? Okay,
yeah. That would fit under the metal canopy on the deck. Like, if you're serious, and it was under $500.
Yeah,
I want to say. Yeah. Under $500.
They're not terrible. They're just not the
but
best.
I'm not going to clean off.
It has to be level.
Right. Some spot in order to put this thing up.
You got to get power there.
The only thing left is the RV pad. Can't do that. I have Meemaw and Grandpa's car. The RV pad is jammed. The flattest place to put something would be the putting green. I could do that, but it is straight
under an oak tree.
Nuts underneath bullseye. The oak tree.
Yeah.
2 oak trees.
Yeah.
The next clearest place would be the rock patio, which is nowhere near level, and I would completely have to destroy by putting sand and gravel or anything to level it.
Yeah.
And it would still be under the other oak tree.
You have way too many big giant trees.
I can't put it in the pea gravel because the deck path goes there.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of sky, but then the campfire pit is in the way.
Right.
I am not beholden to the campfire pit, but that limits severely the size of the thing, and I'd have to level it. The pea gravel would probably make it easy, but it would be direct sun, and then I'd probably be facing. It's hot. I'm the tea bag in my own tea water.
And then the other thing is you got to run a pump all the time.
Yeah, there's
right.
Yeah.
You got to clean it. You got to buy chemicals or do a saltwater setup.
Yeah.
And even then, you still have to add salt periodically.
Or I could just take a shower or stand under the garden hose.
I like having a pool. I would prefer an in-ground pool. I just don't want to spend $45,000 on a pool.
Have you looked? Is it?
They're expensive now.
Like, I want to say
that's probably cheap.
I think 45 is. I think you're being
cheap.
I think you're living in 2005, Jim.
Yeah, you're probably right. God
I do
damn it.
wonder how much the neighbors put theirs in.
I would love to have an in-ground pool. Plus, our backyard's tiny. So the biggest pool I can fit back there in the space that we have, Shan wanted to get an 18-footer.
Really?
It's just a big circle, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit. And she's like, can we get an 18-footer? I'm like, I measured it. It wouldn't fit. So she got measuring. She didn't believe me, of course.
Oh, yeah.
She got a measuring tape out and measured it. And
Science it,
she
bitch.
was like,
I dare you.
Oh, yeah, it won't fit. I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. That's why we have a 16-footer. That's why we got the 16-foot pool. Now, it's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. It cools you off.
You just do like whatever the neighbors did. You just make like a kidney bean that's like an 8 and a 10.
Right.
And they connect, and you'd be like, well, it's 18 feet long.
Right.
Are you happy, dear?
Well, the problem is that the new patio pavers that we put in, that would disrupt that, and the fire pit and all this stuff.
And you have a pool.
And I have a pool already.
You'd be like, if we're going to spend this kind of money, we could buy 4 wave runners.
Why would I have 4?
I mean, you could give 2 to me.
Oh. Wow. That went there quick.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying hard.
Well, here's yours, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll see you at the lake.
Yeah. I mean, you have to find a way to tow it, Jay, but...
and just drop them on your
Here
driveway.
You go.
Clunk.
Well, goddamn, buddy. Thanks so much.
I don't know. The gutter's got water in it. Go ahead.
I was looking. I made a mistake. We were talking about this last night about the wave runner. She's like, I listen to the podcast. I expected that from you. And I went, yeah. She's like, are you fucking around on a marketplace? I'm like, no, but maybe I will now.
No, but yes, but no.
Yeah. So like, she's in bed laying, and I'm looking on fucking Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, oh, fucking.
See.
Oh, shit. And I look over. She's got like an eye mask thing on because she's prepping her eyes for LASIK. And I went.
For viewing things?
Yeah. And I went, I need $12,000. And she went, no. And I went, but this one's a Honda and it's turbo. It's turboed.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, the
it
shirt.
Made whoosh whoosh sounds.
I said, my wave runner would go psh, psh.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Like my wave runner would go psh, psh.
Right.
She's like, no. Yeah.
See, that's the problem.
I couldn't convince her. And then Piper came home, and I went, Piper, I need $12,000.
You need to start convincing your mother.
And she went, what? And I went, I need these. They're in Auburn. We could go get them. They're Hondas. One of them's turbo.
Those are the ones to get.
Fucking.
Or Yamaha.
I didn't know Honda was that far into that. I don't know if they're making them new. Anyway, the Honda F12X turbo.
See, the problem is if I start really
my fancy
digging around on Facebook Marketplace, then I feel like I get obsessed or something. So I can only lightly browse Facebook Marketplace because then I get frustrated. You know?
It makes for good jokes, and like
Yeah.
I'm serious, semi-serious. It's like every time when we're on a walk and we pass a couple of neighbors that have Raptors. Like,
yeah.
So can I get a Raptor? Like, I should have a Raptor. And she'd be like, no. Like, it's just funny.
You have a Mima.
Yes, right. Yeah, right. I mean, it's good. It's a Christmas list thing. We've talked about these kind of things, like a wish list. Like, if I had an opportunity, the bottom line is, it tickles a fancy in a moment. Like, man, that's nice. That would be an option if I.
Right.
If you've been, I mean, this is going on since probably February of this year. Like, I cycled into an AP Euro like tutor assist with Xander, and that took us all the way to the end of the school year. And I think there was a month or so gap, and then Piper started her summer school of physics, and now I'm balls deep in physics.
But that's not going to get you wave runners,
right? And the bottom line, and when we talked, I had this conversation with Venus. I'm like, I have no regrets. Like this, like it keeps my mind going, like constantly staying in school stuff. It'd be ideal if I was actually getting college credits for some of this stuff,
right?
But I can't attend or go to campus with a schedule, or I couldn't take same things. But it keeps me. Could
you take your wave runner to the campus?
Right. I mean, I could tow it. I could tow it.
Right.
So I have no regrets there. Like it keeps me sharp. We're picking up stuff. Like I am helping Piper. It's good. We're having good conversations about like test.
You're just
habits.
Picking it up to forget it.
Probably.
Because that's where I would be.
At some point, probably not for me. At some point, probably when Xander is, college or gone, I'll have the most. I'll be able to take these college courses and get a degree in something, and it'll go.
Oh yeah.
Because I am staying like academically
taught
in the shit.
You're taught
all the time. Xander. Oh, we just got Xander's AP Euro test. Like so if you take AP courses in high school, you take a standardized AP test.
State AP.
Right. In order to
federal.
I think it's federal.
Okay.
It's a federalized thing.
All right.
So you take the course, it's taught at a curriculum that's standardized across the nation. Then you take the test, that's a standardized thing. So you get your high school course grade. And if you pass that, C or higher, and you pass the federal test, you get college credits that you can then say that this applies to that, and you kind of just skip that along the way. He got his test scores back Monday, and he got a score that gives him credit.
Nice.
So fucking, as a dad
Booyah.
That came in to help his son kind of pull out of a dive as far as these are the kind of study habits you need to pass this course, and you're not picking that up on your own.
Yeah.
Like he was going to be struggling. Yes. If we're being honest, he was going to struggle to probably pass the course because he wasn't learning on his own yet the amount of time required to pass that kind of rigorous schedule and cadence of a thing.
Yeah.
Asked for help. No, I came in, and that's where we got. They
just beat the answers into him.
It was close. There was a maul and a halberd involved.
Nice.
But he understood.
Yeah.
He understood, and he picked it up. We were on, like, there are a number of friends that were like, can you come out to play kind of a thing? And I'm like, I'm busy. Like, I'm doing AP Euro with Xander. He put in the time. It did require some tugging, but he never fought me on it. Yeah. But it was something that he was having to learn. But
he knew he had to.
Yeah. We got across that line. We put in hard time going into that test, and then
prison?
With the prison wallet. And then as the girls went to UK, he actually, I think they were out of town when he had his final for the test. But every night that week, while it was, I cooked dinner. We eat dinner on the couch, and then we would watch a gentleman who I was happy to give my money to, who had AP Euro course breakdowns and study guides. Heimler's History If anyone has a kid in high school that's taking AP, History, Gov, Euro courses, Heimler, dude, that man helped me as a parent and helped my son like pass those courses. Like I would give that man hand over fist money if I ever need.
What about now for nothing? Would you still give him some money?
Sometimes I consider, like, because I was just there I started up Safari, I think on this, and it pulled up like an old AP Euro study guide thing in like one of the tabs, and I went, "Fuck, dude, that guy is awesome." And it like,
here's a couple cups of coffee.
Yeah,
for
here's a coffee.
Yeah.
You're my guy. I would. He's one of those people that. If he was, I think he just does content creation and cranking out study guides for the AP courses. But if he was a teacher and you were lucky enough to be a student in that man's class, fucking thank that man until the end of time. His way of delivering stuff to students, the consummate teacher. Like, that is a man that loves teaching kids. Like, I don't want you to feel bad that you don't get it. I want you to understand I want you to have an appreciation for history. I want you to have appreciation for government, politics, and the things that have happened in the past so that hopefully we can do better.
Man, high school time, I did not give a rip about that stuff. I was just like,
did you have a good teacher, or did you feel that it was topics that just zero fucks?
Yeah, pretty much zero. I didn't give a shit about history or fucking anything in high school.
Yeah.
Really. I just, let's just do enough to graduate and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then I got into college and was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Photography. Was there a high school photography class?
Yeah.
Was there?
I took it every year.
Yeah.
But then I got into college and was like, oh, I can take whatever classes I want. This is cool.
Yeah.
Things that interest me, and they're things I need to take for my, requirements or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I just didn't care. Didn't give a shit.
Yeah. The physics stuff that I've been working with Piper on of late, like she had a big test on Tuesday. So Monday night we were working through a bunch of like homework problems and like kind of creating. Her physics teacher allows the young adults, you have to write it by hand. It has to be in your own writing. An 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, front and back, that you can write notes on, formulas, problems, and then he gives you like a sheet of typical formulas that you can use in case your sheet doesn't have anything or you want to walk in untooled, I guess. So we're putting this together, and Piper is very good at math. She's like calculus and algebra. She's very good. Like, tell me the formula that I need to apply to this thing. And she is very good at the math. The abstract part where you need to take multiple concepts and they give you A, they give you B, and I want you to get to F. And through the things that you can get all the way there, but you kind of have to make some leaps, like or draw back from a lesson. Like, okay, in a previous lesson, they told us that this equals this, so I can substitute. So it's the application of like complex problem solving, and that's her biggest struggle. It's like, if I told you the formula for A, for B, for C, for D, for E, and then it gives you F, she would understand it and knock it out of the park. Even though she knows those middle formulas, she sees the word problem, and she sees, I need you to get from A to B to F. And the stuff in the middle goes blank, even though she knows it, because the words say go A, B, F. How? So she was like struggling really hard. fucking, and we were working on a problem with an object that was on an incline that had friction. And it was like a thing that had a weight on one end and a weight on the other end, and it's on an incline with friction. Find me the acceleration of the thing and which direction the stuff is going. And working through the formula, she's like, I understand how we're doing this, but I don't understand sometimes why we use this and why we use that. And I went, okay, but can you understand that we're doing this? Not really. I came into the garage. I'm looking for fucking props. And it was, once I had set up a physical situation, I got my fucking dry erase board and my gyro handball, exercise ball, and like a chain. And I'm like, if it's doing this, what's happening? And she's like, it's doing this. And I went, you, that's it. And she's like, and I went, if you understand this, what's the formula for that? What's this? And I went, you're there. And she's like, the light switch. I'm like, so when you're working some of these tests, kind of treat like, how can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Like she got it. Like the hamster went back on the wheel, but it's her way of trying to tell a story that she was completely, like she was just mathing.
Right. I struggled with how to apply when and where and what rule thing or whatever it is applied to any situation. Like,
yeah.
You give me, well, we got to figure this thing out. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all these other things are swimming around back here.
Right.
But
tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do that.
I don't know what applies in this. I have no idea.
Right.
Like I really struggled with that. Like I didn't have any problem doing the math parts of it.
That's kind of where she was at.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Here. Like, tell me what you want me. Like, what's the formula?
Yeah.
It's this. Okay. Well, those ones she could solve all day. It is the abstract. You're going to need 3 formulas, and you need one. What are the other 2?
I would have been
so
no idea.
That leads me into the cool part. So I'm a writer. Like I like to rewrite the word problem, and I learn a lot by the tactile feel. Like I have notepads. Like if you've ever been in an office, I have notepads fucking everywhere. Sometimes it's to keep me. Yes, because sometimes to track all the things that I need. Like I've got data coming in here and work stuff, and I'll write out my schedule. And like, oh, I had an idea for the show, so I'll write out a thing because then I get focused on here, and I don't want to have that distracting me or rolling around. So I'll write it and just kind of like memory purge it and go about my day. I have notepads everywhere. So when I started this physics stuff with Piper, I had notebooks all over the table, but what I started running into was when I wanted to show her something, I'd have to flip through a notebook, like where did I put that thing? And then writing on a notebook to like try and show her was kind of just inconvenient.
Right.
So I told Venus, I'm like, I need a dry erase board. So we went to Staples. I bought a dry erase board that was, 2 by 3 feet. And then I would start writing at the table. I'm just teacher dry erase boarding. Fucking, I loved the feel of like writing with dry.
Should have got a real chalkboard.
But what then? I know. Like, just like roll it into the living room.
Because then if the class acts up, you can just do that with your fingers.
The problem I started to run into was I would get through homework, and then I would have to erase it, and then I would go,
ah, fuck.
I
should have taken a picture.
I should have kept that.
What you got to do is you write save and then circle it. Then you don't erase it.
So or it might have been
cleaning crew.
The spring semester, Piper bought herself an iPad Air, and she put a screen cover on it that makes it tactily feel like paper. And she has a pencil.
Okay.
So she all through Chem 1 and I think her calculus class was using it. Right, she writes in GoodNotes, a really handy app on the iOS platform. write stuff in there. She handed me at some point 2 weeks ago her iPad, and she's like, so like this and then this, and I'm like, give me the fucking pencil. I'm like, so you do this? Oh my God.
Nice.
So I have an iPad.
Oh, okay.
With the Pencil Pro.
Yeah.
That thing, the thing I didn't know I needed, that is, like, I have sheets of homework, and the pencil, I don't know how they did that. The pencil feels... What shows were we doing where I'm like, I like a good pen. Do you have a good pen?
It feels like
it writes nothing. There is nothing coming out of that tip.
Sure.
Now, I can't deal with the paper screen protector. To me, that does something to the visual of the screen. Like, I like the crystal clear screen.
Yeah.
It kind of puts like a matte finish on the screen. I don't like that. I do like the feel, but I'm like, I can't put that fucking shit on my, like, if I, like, the screen is gorgeous. Like,
right.
No.
I don't want to cover it.
Right. That's bullshit. However they do the haptics in that pencil to the iPad,
magic.
It's fucking magic, dude.
Yeah.
You
know what it is? It's a Newton message pad.
Right. And the thing is, the iPad Mini, it's a Newton. It's a Newton.
It pretty much is.
Right. Just really big.
Yeah.
The iPad, I had the original pencil on my iPad Mini, and I tried to use it, but it just kind of wasn't there for me.
First gen. Yeah.
Right. The pencil just didn't feel, and I couldn't get into it. Now, maybe it was the form factor of the iPad Mini just didn't lend itself to a tablet replacement. This thing, fuck. Like, I should have been using the amount of
Where was this in high school?
Right. The amount of notes that I have lost because the notepad, I've chucked the note. Like, I can't keep stacks of notepad.
Now, is it saving it in your handwriting, or does it translate it into...
I have it writing my handwriting.
Okay.
There is I think there is what, I haven't used it, like where it will actually take it and turn it into a normal, like, font.
Yeah.
I haven't used that.
Okay.
It feels so good to see it in my handwriting.
Sure.
And the pen type that I have, like, it looks like me writing with a really good fucking pen. And you can do things like, I'm trying to create a straight line. You just draw a straight line and then hold it, and it snaps it into a... Like, the amount of times when I was... Like, Piper will show me something on GoodNotes. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing your square roots so, like, clean and crisp like that? Because I'll just do like an
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you just, like, do this, and then you hold it, and then it snaps it into it. And I went, the intake gasps that I make when she shows me something, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Beauregard, you've made me verklempt on the inside.
What that reminds me of is watching people who are artists use an iPad with a pen or like a Wacom, like a good...
Oh, Wacom tablet?
Yeah, Wacom tablet, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
And they use those to, like, do shit, and nowadays they got screens built into them, right?
Yeah.
Man, just watching how fluid it all is and how naturally it seems to flow out of a digital pen of some kind.
It is
really...
I haven't used Apple Notes with the GoodNotes app that I have and Piper has. It is the only thing I've used the pencil with. Like, last night when I was on Facebook Marketplace, I'm trying to use the pencils, like, to move around stuff. I'm like, this isn't really, so I went back to the thing.
Sure.
But the writing application use of the pencil and the GoodNotes app on an iPad Air 13 is... fuck. It is fabulous. It is a great writing experience for someone that enjoys writing.
And now do that with
like I have
do that with an iPad Pro.
I couldn't. I told Venus, like, when Piper struggled with her first test, and I went, okay, well, this was a hell of a way to get me to buy an iPad. The price discrepancy is just too much.
I know, they're expensive.
And plus the latest gen iPad Airs are, for what I'm using it for, are
just as good.
Are just as good.
Sure.
Like if I was doing art stuff or gaming or something that was serious processing power, you probably couldn't have pushed real hard to convince me to get a Pro. But I had a need
for what you're doing. You don't need the Pro.
I don't need the Pro. I didn't need a Pro. Right. I didn't need one. So I didn't.
Right.
I got a decent middle.
I didn't even know how to use my AirPod Pro. So.
Oh, your fucking son. Dude.
I just got him.
He shut up when I talked about that brisket, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Little fucker.
I just got him like...
I hope you get to hear, little fucker.
He will. But I just got those things. So it's like I only use them... I've only been using them to like edit the show. So
your AirPods?
Yeah. So it's like my old AirPods, like one of them would die. Like, I'd put it in, they would be working, then boop, 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 and then one's gone. And you're like, God damn it.
Dude, you've been sitting in the charger this whole time. Come on.
Yeah,
what do you mean you're out of battery?
I was like, So I complained about it. For my birthday, I got a new pair of AirPod Pros.
Fucking yeah.
Which is awesome.
And a meter.
But I haven't had the chance to really like fuck around with them and see how they work. My old AirPods, double tap to skip a song. That's all I really cared about.
Yes, I would, and I have the AirPod Pros, and that's pretty.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know
volume up, volume down.
I didn't even know that.
That's it.
So I was like trying to skip a song at one point, just playing with them, and I'm like, why won't it skip a song at double tap? You got to touch the stem. Apparently, the stem is the thing.
Oh, I do. I pinch the middle and beep beep. But you touch the chrome tippy.
No, I didn't get that far because I didn't know what to do. And then we were talking about it, and I was looking it up while we were chatting about it.
Yeah. And
I was like, "Oh, you got to touch the little stem." I had no idea.
Little chrome tips.
It does volume control. Oh, fucking cool.
I just needed to play my music, and I know they were higher fidelity, and they had really good noise canceling. I put them in my ear.
Right.
I walk. I sing. That's a mistake. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean...
Fucking...
You know...
And then your son... Boy, he was on the chip that morning, wasn't he?
Yeah. Here's something interesting real fast.
Go. I
got an email from my father-in-law. Was like, hey, how do I send an encrypted email?
Oh.
And I didn't even know this was a thing. Okay. I'm like... I start replying to him. What are you talking about?
Yeah, why?
And then I'm like, wait a second. I should probably look this up because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I've never had to send an encrypted email.
Okay.
But essentially, he just wants to send an email to somebody that only they can read.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that with Apple Mail, apparently.
Okay.
I didn't know that. You make your own certificate in the keychain app.
Okay.
And then you add your email address to the certificate.
Uh-huh.
And then when you send the certificate out, you add that into your mail, and mail sees it and has a check mark.
Okay.
That you have a certificate. And then you send that, and then they have to accept that it's like your yes, this is from them.
Okay.
And then they can guarantee, and then it has to go both ways. They have to do the same thing too.
Right.
So then I don't know how the encryption part works. But apparently there's a way that you can encrypt it so that only...
Right.
So, given that, I'm like, why do you need to send an encrypt? Right. What are you doing? Right. Like, fucking working for the Secret Service or some shit? And he was like, I need to send his nephew, who manages all of the farm business.
Okay.
I need to send him a copy of my driver's license.
Oh.
And I don't,
sure.
and I'm like, okay, you're being careful. That's
Right.
great.
That's a good
but I'm
one.
also kind of laughing because this is a big hassle to get there
Right.
from here. And I said, okay. And then I had to think about it for a day. And I finally, the next day, I was like, hold on now. Instead of going through all that hassle, because it sounds like that could be complicated for you, and that would mean a trip for me up to your house.
Right.
Why don't you scan the shit that you need to scan, open them up, hit print on your printer, and then at the bottom of the print box, go to the PDF, pop up and say, save as PDF. Then when that dialog box pops up, hit the security options, set a password.
Set a password.
Save the PDF. And now when they get it, you can send a password to them from text.
Right.
So it's not even through email. And then they can just open the PDF with the password.
Right.
And then we don't have to worry about this fucking...
Right. And all you have to do then is just
encrypted
make
email.
sure that he doesn't take a picture of it on his computer with his phone. Wait, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was all kinds of stuff I'm learning this
good
week.
for him. I mean, there's a huge silver lining here. Someone concerned.
I mean, he's 83. You know what I'm saying? So
that's pretty good. Good for him.
you know,
Most people, I don't understand how these people got my driver's license. Well, it's probably because your recipient has had their email hacked for years because they like passing around deep state shit
right.
about the state of Jefferson and the greater state of Oregon, and they're compromised for years.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But I was like, cool. All right. And then so today he sent me, here's a test PDF
Oh,
with a password on it.
the password.
And I'm like, what's the password? He says,
nipple.
He says, test. Type in test. It doesn't work.
Oh.
I'm like, maybe it's password. No. Test. No. Test with a capital T. No. Password with a capital P. No. Raj, what's the password? First of all, I got it. It's password protected, but I got to make sure the password you gave me works.
Right.
What's the password? Test. Fuck, that's not working. He goes, oh, it's test with 2 T's at the end. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah. He's like, it's test with a silent ES at the end. Raj, that's testes.
Yeah.
Yeah. D's nuts, son-in-law.
Yeah. So I just thought,
Oh, shit.
well, this was a good way for him to be able to do what he needed to do,
Right.
without really going into the encrypted email sector, which he doesn't really need.
Especially if the person on the other end is not computer savvy.
Right.
That he would or have to walk them through in some form or fashion. Like, did you get it? Especially if he can't spell test right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
All
that
of a sudden,
got
he's
with
like-
2 T's on the end, but
He's like, yeah, you're starting to get a little big for your britches there, but I appreciate. I mean, that's a good headspace to be in as far as your identity stuff. So, I mean, good for him.
well, he's had a couple of scares. We've had to
But
run.
like that gray area is
Yeah.
always a good space.
Yeah.
You're like, we can get you some.
Yeah.
It should be okay.
We had to virus scan his machine a couple times because he got those like full screen pop up things.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what websites are you hitting? And he's like, oh, man's looking at, horoscopes.
Pickle recipe
And-
horoscopes.
And I'm like,
Online
all
blackjack.
right, first of all, you need to go to whatever the actual website is and not some other fucking website.
Bond girls.
I think I forgot to tell you this. Shan was trying to order Potter tickets, Lincoln Potter tickets, the
Yeah.
baseball team.
Yeah.
We're in the stands of the Potters game, and she's on her phone, like, oh, I'm going to buy tickets for this game. She finds the seats and gets them added, goes down and hits continue. Next thing she knows, she's getting a fraud alert, and she punches in all of her fucking info,
Uh-huh.
payment info. And then she gets a fraud alert. She was charged like, I don't know. It was not very much, $4 or something
Okay.
for like a porn website of some kind.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it turns out that there's an ad in that space that looks like a real button that you would have to click in order to continue.
Oh, fucking
And it's
hell.
spaced just right on the phone.
Yeah.
And you had to scroll further down in order to get to the real thing. So, luckily, Golden One caught it.
Right.
And then when she called them, when she called the fraud department.
Miss Schroeder, are you actually interested in a 15-inch black double ender with live action testicle goo shootings?
I forget what the website was called. It was like something chat. I don't know what it was. Anyway, but when she was talking to the fraud people, he's like, "Did you make this charge?" And she's like, "Well, no. I mean, yes, but no." The website was misleading, right? Kind of a thing.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, do you still want that charge to go through?"
She's like, "Well, what actually am I going to get?"
Yeah. And she's like, No. She was totally fucking embarrassed.
Right.
And I thought, oh, well, yeah, you're going to have to get a new fucking card. Like,
right.
You know, the whole 9 yards. And he's like, oh, you're fine.
We'll wipe it.
And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Since when? Like, she gave her fucking card info up to who knows where.
Right.
You know? So, but he's like, did you buy something at Target? Yeah. Did you buy this at blah, blah, blah? Mm-hmm. Did you get some panties at Kohl's? Sure. Did you get I forget what the website was. Sassy Chat or some shit like that.
15 minutes of verbal assault from sassychad.net.org.xxx.
Oh, I just thought that was funny. But anyway, you can't be too careful.
Right. Can't.
Good job, Raj.
Fucking, yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, you should return the cart.
You should wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
Check your oil, Tony.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Make the call if you need to.
Register to vote.
Pick up a broom.
Do the kindness. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye. Fucking register to vote. What? Joe Biden?